Hi everyone, it's Dr. Nikki. Thank you so much for being here today. Please subscribe to the channel and leave your comments in the box below. Today I am here with my friend Kristina Macias. And Kristina and I met, we were working for a wellness startup together. And we have come to reconnect. And she started telling me about some of the work she's doing now. And it's this amazing breath work with firefighters and police officers and other servicemen. And I wanted her to share her work with you today. So, Kristina, please share.
Hello, Nikki. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. And so the work that I do is, for the firefighters, it's about stress management, but it also can go into strength training. I'm also a strength coach, exercise physiologist. Sometimes I'm a therapist. Sometimes, the work that I do can bring things out in people that need healing. And so what I focus on is breathing and movement patterns. And I kind of bring you back to the awareness of where your breathing patterns are at this moment in time. We're born breathing into our belly when calm, and then breathing into our chest when we're stressed. And then life kind of gets in our way, and then we continue to be stressed. And so we have this out of balance stress versus relaxation. And we forget that our body remembers the homeostasis it's constantly in.
Exactly, and a few days ago I shared a video with you about breathing, and I talked about taking time every day to focus on the breath, breathing really deeply for so many health benefits like we talked about in terms of oxygenating the blood, massaging the organs, decreasing stress. And I know, Kristina, you can share some more benefits that deep breathing.
Yes, absolutely. So when we breathe with the appropriate muscles, so not our traps, our chest and our upper body, when we breathe with our diaphragm, our intercostals, all of our core, think of our entire core as what helps squeeze everything else out of our lungs. And if we squeeze everything out of our lungs and use our exhale to engage, we're not only building strength of the abdomen, we're building strength with our exhale. We're exhaling out all of the air so that we can inhale more air. We have to get all of the crap out in order to get more air in. And when we breathe into the bottom of the lungs, it provides more oxygen than it does for the top of just breathing from the top of the lungs. And so this also can improve lower back pain, chronic hip pain, because if all of the muscles in our body are not activated, other muscles will compensate and they will become chronically tight. And that's what I work with a lot is, I have tight hamstrings and I stretch. I swear I stretch. I stretch every day. And I go, do you hold your breath while you're stretching? I don't know.
Yeah.
And you probably are because you're thinking about something stressful.
And also when we don't use muscles, we tend to lose them. And so when we don't use our diaphragm all the time, it weakens. And that's why a lot of elderly people develop pneumonia and all these other pulmonary issues because they're not exercising the muscles of the lungs and the diaphragm.
Absolutely. And I wanted you guys to keep in mind too, I'm going to set this down, our diaphragm is actually connected to our lower back, L1, 2, and 3. And then if we're always breathing into our chest and never into our diaphragm, eventually that muscle tightens and it comes here and then we're kind of slouching. And then I have people sit up straight and they're like, that hurts my back. Sit up straight because it's pulling. And then we have, so many different muscles are pulling in different directions. And remember that our muscles tell our bones where to go. So if the muscle's not active, it's not awake, it's weak, or it's overworked, it will shift your bones out of place. And then you go to a chiropractor and go, crack it back into place, and then stress just brings it back out of alignment because you're the only one that can actually adjust your mind and body and maintain that adjustment. Otherwise, it's kind of temporary.
Exactly. And earlier we talked a little bit about how breathing actually stretches other muscles that we don't have access to, especially around the spine. Yes. So if you wanted to go into that a little bit more too.
Absolutely. So remember that the connection between our mind and body is the central nervous system. And the spine feeds off of glucose, sugar, right? And glucose is fueled by oxygen.
Yeah. And not sugar not the white sugar.
Yeah.
There's sugar in fruit, and the natural sugar is found in food, not the white sugar.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just to clarify.
Yes. But in the end, what I'm trying to say is our central nervous system is fueled up oxygen. The central nervous system is what controls our limbs. It's very subtle, and it controls all of our functions. So when we think about breathing into a certain area, connect thought, breath, and movement, or release, or exhale, we are creating more synapses. So my training, works directly with the diaphragm, and basically we're in the lungs, and we're stretching the body from the inside out. And we're getting these muscles, on our back, along our spine, right? And we're stretching out the rib cage. Some of those muscles you're not able to get with a foam roll or certain stretches. The only way to do that is expansion of the lungs, expansion of the lower abdomen. Because when a muscle stretches, it has more room for strength contraction. So now we get this action of what? Like the heart, like pumping action. So I inhale to stretch, exhale, engage. And each time I do that, I pump awareness and more strength. And that awareness, if you're able to breathe into your belly now and you're kind of like, Kristina, so what? I got this. I can do this. Well, know that after doing this for 3 years, imagine doing it for 20, I still find a deeper awareness every time I do these same simple exercises.
And going back to the word synapse, so what Kristina meant by that is just creating more connections between our brain and our body so that we are more aware of if there may be a problem or if we want to kind of connect to a certain part of our body, if maybe it's injured or whatever it may be, increase circulation to the area, helping the lymphatic system, just any way to increase awareness to different parts of the body, as you already said.
Absolutely. And
so
I kind of just want to, give you the overall picture is it's about expanding our capacity for stress. When I can create space in my lungs, so I'll give you an example. If I can breathe in and out, in for 20 seconds, right? Meaning I can expand my lungs, my balloons that are on my lungs to fit my entire torso. And then I exhale for 20. Maybe inhale for 25. I know it seems crazy, but it's possible, I promise. When I do that, now when my body's in stress, somebody pisses me off, I'm working out. Those are all, two different forms of stress, but stress, and that they're not bad. But now I can still breathe in for 10 seconds, meaning I can still get oxygen to my body even in stress, and that's ultimately what we need. In stressful situations, can we pump oxygen through our body so that we can kind of slow down time and realize what's happening around us and take the moment to notice our reaction or notice how our body reacts to stress. So we work with the polarities. The more you know relaxation, the more you know stress.
Yes. So perfect. So shall we do a nice, easy exercise that everyone can follow with us at home?
Absolutely. So I like to separate the upper and lower chest, and then we bring them together.
Okay.
So these are the 2 of the 3 body locks. We're going to start with 2. So the first one is the lower belly. So I'm going to kind of stand up so you can see my belly. Okay. So if I exhale out sharply, right, I can feel my belly come in and engage. That's kind of like autopilot, right? When we cough, everybody place your hand over your belly and cough. Autopilot, our belly button presses up and in. Now if I inhale and fill my belly, exhale, engage my core, that's manual. I have to think about it, and a lot of you at home may not be able to breathe into your belly at this point. It may kind of go into your chest, into the shoulders. And so what you're doing is recreating that pattern of breath that you originally had. I know it seems counterintuitive now, but the way that you're breathing is reversed, and you didn't even know it. So taking time to inhale for at least 3 or 4 seconds. So let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Both out through the nose. 2, 3, 4, and keep going. Inhale. And try to picture filling up the pelvic bowl, filling up the hips with breath. And then when you exhale, think about squeezing every ab muscle you have all the way to the pelvic floor. Squeeze everything. Good. Exactly. Like someone's about to punch you right in the stomach. Everyone was out. So that's when we can create really a strong contraction with our exhale. We are activating all the muscles that support our back. And so when our back hurts, that's the victim. It's not the culprit. It's usually lack of activation here. So the more muscles we can activate with an exhale, the better. And the second one is movement of the rib cage. So we not only need to be able to move here in all directions, but our rib cage. If you notice, my hands are here, and I can inhale, expand in all directions, exhale. So if I think of my rib cage as like an apex, right? I hit like this, it extends out here. So there's going to be a little movement at the top, but it's going to think about the bottom of my rib cage expanding, and you'll feel that end point of tension in between the rib cage. And every time I am constantly throughout the day kind of inhaling full, feeling that end point, and then exhale, squeezing it in, releasing.
Yeah, and it feels good, like a stretch.
Absolutely, and you're stretching out the muscles in between the rib cage. And also, if you're going along your back, you're creating space for the nerves along the spine, for them to move and the spine to move.
And I can feel my nerves activating, actually. And we actually went over a similar breath where we breathe into the stomach, into the chest, into the upper area, and then out the same way.
Absolutely.
Like I call it yogic breathing. I didn't really name it. Yeah. But yeah, isolating is huge because, like you said, that's increasing the synapses to really allow for awareness of breath and control of breath.
Absolutely. And for me, I really, really focus on the exhale. When you exhale, are you exhaling in a perfect neutral position? I want you to always be aware of your spine, because when our spine is in a neutral position, our nerves work efficiently. Our nerves do not stretch. They're not like muscles. They don't have room to stretch. So when they're put out of place, we don't function as well. So it's about spinal health here. And then I can show you one more breath before we end. I don't want to keep you too long. So kind of adding on top of what you had already taught them is what I call co-activation breath. So we want strength with our exhale. And if you have a high blood pressure, be very careful with this and be more gentle with the exhale. But if you don't have any heart issues or high blood pressure, then you can go ahead and kind of put a little more force with the exhale. So we'll look like this. So I can just show you the hand. I'll exhale sharply, and then inhale passively. So if you need to exhale out the mouth to really get it, you can do that, but then move to the nose. So, and then, so I'm exhaling and squeezing my abs so hard that the recoil of releasing the abs is passively letting air in. So what I'm doing is retraining my body to breathe with these muscles.
It's breath of fire in yoga.
Well, that's actually a separate exercise.
Oh, okay.
So this is a misconception that I found in some of the yoga classes. So breath of fire, I believe it's quicker and more even.
It is quicker, yeah. So
it's a quick, even inhale, exhale. So,
right.
And working, I like to think of it working more of the...
It does work the upper torso.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this, I like to focus on the lower part. In Kundalini practice, we call it Kapalabhati breathing. Kapalabhati, I call it co-activation because I feel like people relate to that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is a very powerful breath in Kundalini yoga practice. And so it doesn't need to be done, like breath of fire can be done with an exercise or a stretch.
Where this is
isolated by itself, building strength. And if you have an ailment or something you really need to release, attach that intention to that exhale. Yeah. And that's how we release that out. So really focus on that contraction. And you will build strength and get rid of chronic pain.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kristina.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And yes, and please share your website and any information, or if anyone's interested to learn more information or get in touch with you.
Yes. So luckily, the website just became live last week. It's www.primalcoding.com. You can, all the information's there. You can email me or call me for more information. I do one-on-one sessions, Skype sessions, and then I can come to you, do workshops. And there's much more to this practice, and you can mold yourself into anything that you want once you have a solid foundation. So.
Awesome. And I'm sure that we will host an event together sometime in the future for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here today. Please subscribe to the channel and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you so much. Bye.